Hello children, a warm welcome to our English class. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce myself. I am Jay Krishna, teacher of English. I proudly say that I did my PGCTE, PGDTE from the prestigious university EFLU, Hyderabad, and I have also cleared my AP set. In this video, let's discuss a beautiful poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. It's written by an Irish poet and dramatist, W.B. Yeats, from the Class 9 textbook, Beehive. The major theme of the poem is nature versus civilization. The poet desires to escape from the misery of city life to the peaceful environment of Innisfree. Before going to the poem, let us discuss the main elements of the poem. Overview of the poem. Children, when we look at the overview of the poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, it consists of 6 components. They are introduction, number 2, about the poet, number 3, working with the poem, number 4, summary of the poem, number 5, poetic devices, and number 6, thinking about the poem. Before going to the introductory part, let's discuss the learning objectives of this poem. Dear children, look at the learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to recite the first stanza of the poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, with proper pronunciation and intonation. Justify the poet's desire to go to Innisfree and live there alone in peace and silence. Judge the effectiveness of the poet's use of sensory imagery in creating a peaceful and serene atmosphere in the poem. Predict how the poet's life would change if he were to live on Innisfree and compare it with his current life. Summarize the main idea of the poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, in one sentence. Use sensory details to describe the environment of Innisfree and its effect on the poet's mind. Write a short paragraph describing a place that you find peaceful and serene, using sensory details to create a vivid image in the reader's mind. Compare and contrast the poet's desire for a simple life on Innisfree with the fast-paced, busy lifestyle of modern society. Children, now let's know about the poet William Butler Yeats. The Lake Isle of Innisfree. The poet of The Lake Isle of Innisfree is William Butler Yeats, and also known as W.B. Yeats. Now, let's talk about the poet. Dear children, now we are going to talk about our renowned poet William Butler Yeats, popularly known as W.B. Yeats. He was born on 13 June 1865 at Sandymount in Dublin, Ireland. He is an Irish poet, dramatist, and prose writer. He founded Abbey Theatre and served as a senator of the Irish Free State. His famous works are The Second Coming, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, Easter 1960, A Prayer of My Daughter, The Stolen Child, The Wild Swans at Cooley. He is also remembered as Ireland's national poet. He received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1900 23. Finally, he died on 20th January 1939. Before beginning the poem, first we should understand the title of the poem and background of the poem. This well-known poem explores the poet's longing for the peace and tranquility of Innisfree, a place where he spent a lot of time as a boy. This poem is a lyric. It's a musical poem written by W.B. Yeats in 1888. It's a 12-line poem divided into 3 quatrains. It explores the poet's longing for the peace and tranquility of Innisfree, a place where he spent a lot of time as a boy. The poem reveals the poet's nostalgia for peace and tranquility. The lake island means the island in a lake, and Innisfree is the name of the island. Dear children, I am going to recite the poem now. So all of you listen to the poem attentively and enjoy it. Dear children, now I am going to recite the poem. Listen to the poem very attentively and enjoy the poem. The Lake Isle of Innisfree by William Butler Yeats. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the blue-loved glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnights, all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evenings full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always, night and day, I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. Dear children, again I will recite the first stanza of the poem, and after that I will give you a detailed explanation. Please listen to me carefully and repeat after me. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee-loved glade. Before explanation of the poem, let's learn some new words. Dear children, let us learn some new words. Arise, stand up or get up. Cabin, room. Wattles, twisted sticks for making fences or walls. Hive, a structure where bees live. Honey bee, a small insect which produces honey. Bee loud refers to the sound made by the buzzing of the bees. Glade, open space. Dear children, now I am going to explain stanza 1 in detail. Please listen carefully. Explanation of the stanza 1. I here refers to the poet William Butler Yeats. He says that he wants to get up and go to Innisfree. It seems that the poet wants to get away from the life he was leading in the city. Over there, He will build a small room for himself with clay and twisted sticks which are used to make the walls or the fences of the cabin. As he will need some food to eat also, so he will grow 9 rows of beans near his room. Also, he will get the honey from the honeybee hive. He says that there is an open space where he will build his room. Will be full of the buzzing sound of the bees, and over there he will live alone in peace and tranquility. Dear children, let's check your understanding of the poem, shall we? Here we go. Dear children, answer these questions. Where does the poet want to go? Your options are: option A, to London; option B, to Paris; option C, to Innisfree; and option D, to Switzerland. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, the right answer is option C, to Innisfree. Dear children, answer this question. How many rows of beans does the poet want to plant? Your options are: option A, 7 rows; option B, 8 rows; option C, 9 rows; and option D, 10 rows. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, the right answer is option C, 9 rows. Dear children, answer this question. Name the 3 things that the poet would like to do at Innisfree. Your options are: option A, plant 9 bean trees; option B, make hives for honeybees; option C, make a house for clay and wattles; option D, all the above. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, the right answer is option D, all the above. Wow, congratulations. Now, let's recite stanza 2. Dear children, I will recite the poem. Please listen to me carefully and repeat after me. Stanza 2. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnights all glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evenings full of the linlet's wings. Dear children, before going to the explanation of stanza 2, let's learn some new words. Dear children, let's learn the meanings of some new words. Veils, a piece of fine material worn by women to protect or hide the face. Cricket, an insect related to the grasshopper but with short legs. Linnet, a small brown and grey bird with a short beak. Glimmer, shining. Dear students, I am going to give you a brief explanation of the stanza 2. Dear children, I am going to explain the stanza 2 in detail, so please listen to me carefully. Explanation of the stanza 2. In this stanza, the poet says that when in Innisfree, he will feel peaceful, and he says that the feeling of peace is felt slowly and gradually. He describes how he would feel peaceful. In the morning time, when it is cloudy and the view is not very clear, then it will appear as if the morning has worn a veil and has hidden itself. Looking at this scene make him feel peaceful. Further, he says that when male cricket insect will sing a song, that sound will bring him at peace. Also, at midnight, when he will see the twinkling stars in the open sky, the shine will give him peace. In the afternoon, when the sunlight will give a purple glow, it will also give him peace. During the evening, when he will see the linnet bird flying in the sky, then also he will feel peaceful. Dear students, let's check your understanding of the poem, shall we? Here we go. Dear children, answer this question. What kind of scene is there at midnight at Innisfree? Your options are option A, dark, option B, gloomy, option C, charming and glimmering, and option D, none. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, the right answer is option C, charming and glimmering. Congratulations. Dear children, answer this question. What kind of a scene is described at Innisfree during noontime? Your options are option A golden hue, option B, bright green and yellow lights, option C, purple glow color, and option D, none. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, the right answer is option C, purple glow color. Congratulations. Dear children, answer this question. Evenings full of the linnet wings. What does these words mean? Your options are option A, the noise of flying insects, option B, linnets flying in the evening sky, option C, buzzing bees, and option D, noise of the insects in the evenings. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, the right answer is option B, linnets flying in the evening sky. Congratulations, dear. Dear children, next we move on to the third stanza. Dear children, I will recite the stanza 3. Please listen to me very carefully and repeat after me. Are you ready? Here we go. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. Before going to the explanation of the stanza 3, let's learn some new words. Dear children, let's learn the meanings of some new words. Night and day, all the time, lapping, striking, heart's core, the innermost part of the heart. Dear children, I am going to explain the stanza 3 in detail, so please listen to me carefully. Explanation of the stanza 3. In this stanza, the poet says that now he will stand up and go to Innisfree because all the time the sound of the lake waters striking the shore repeats in his mind. The sound attracts him towards lake. Whatever he is either standing on the roadway or on the grey colored pavements, he hears the sound deep in the innermost part of the heart. Dear children, let me check your understanding of the poem. Shall we? Here we go. Dear children, answer this question. In the last stanza, what sound does the poet hear day and night? Your options are option A, morning birds, option B, cricket songs, option C, linnets cry, and option D, lake water striking the shore. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, the right answer is option D, lake water striking the shore. Wow, congratulations. Dear children, answer the question. Choose the metaphor for the whales as described in the poem. Your options are option A, cricket, option B, linnet, option C, morning, and option D, cloud. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, you are right. The right answer is option D, cloud. Congratulations. Dear children, answer this question. What is the central theme of the poem? Your options are option A, the poet wants to live in loneliness. Option B, the poet is too desperate to move to Innisfree. Option C, the poet lives in crowded city life and hence he is in search of peace. Option D, the poet is an admirer of nature. What is the right answer, dear children? Think and say. Yes, you are right. The right answer is option C. The poet lives in crowded city life and hence he is in search of peace. Congratulations. Now, let's move on to the summary of the poem. Summary of the poem. The poet is reminded of his past, his boyhood, when he visited the peaceful lake isle of Innisfree. He wants to go there and says that he will there all alone. He wants to build a small cabin with clay and wattles. He would grow beans and get a honey bee hive for honey survive on. The poet describes the peaceful natural surroundings of the lake. He says that the scene of the cloudy mornings, the shining stars, the glowing sun, and the birds flying in the sky give him peace. He feels relaxed to hear the pleasant sound of the cricket's sound. The poet feels the urgency to go to Lake Isle of Innisfree. In the depth of his heart, he can hear the sound of the lake waters hitting the shore. It is as if the lake is calling him. He hears the sound everywhere, either on the crowded roads or the grey colored pavements of the city in which he lives. This indicates that he wants to escape the artificial life of the city into the peaceful surroundings of the nature. Now, let me throw the light on literary devices used by the poet. Literary devices in the poem. Dear children, now let's discuss the poetic devices used by the poet here. Dear children, let's observe rhyme scheme in the poem. Each stanza follows the same rhyme scheme AB, AB. Dear children, now we have alliteration. Alliteration means the repetition of a consonant sound in two or more closely placed words is called alliteration. Line 3 of the poem, a hive for honeybee, the H sound is repeatedly used here. In line 10, the lake water lapping with low sounds. Here we see that the sound of L and W are being repeated. Dear children, now we have metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech that describes a person or object by referring to something that is considered to have similar characteristics to that person or object. In the phrase veils of the morning, the veils are used for clouds in the morning sky, or maybe the fog, so as these veils are lifted the sun rises. Dear children, now we have personification. Personification is a figurative language that attributes human characteristics, emotion, and behavior to animals and inanimate objects. For example, in this poem, the phrase is the veils of the morning. Here, morning is personified as a woman whose face is covered by a veil. Dear children, we will look at the poetic device imagery. The poet has made abundant uses of imagery in order to paint a picture of the place where he desires to go. The first imagery that the poet has used in the phrase veils of the morning. It refers to the morning sky with clouds. This appeals to our sense of the sight. The second imagery is when we read the phrase like midnight all a glimmer and noon a purple glow. These create an image of a dreamland in our mind where the sky is lit with the stars at night and the purple blossoms spread serene beauty during the day. And third imagery is when the lake water lapping appeals to our sense of hearing, we can hear the serene movement of water. Dear children, now we have another poetic device, repetition. In line number 1 and 9, the expression I will arise and go has been repeated. It reflects the poet's firm resolve to go to the place where he spends his childhood days. Similarly, in line 5 and 6, the poet has repeated the words peace and dropping. Peace emphasizes calmness and dropping stresses the easy pace of thing in nature. In line 10 and line 12, the poet uses the phrase I hear to bring out the deep yearning in his heart that pulls him to the lake isle of Innisfree. Dear children, now we shall move on to the next segment, thinking about the poem. Drum number 1. The first question is, what kind of place is Innisfree? Think about. The 3 things the poet wants to do when he goes back there. Stanza 1. What he hears and sees there and its effect on him. Stanza 2. Number 3. What he hears in his heart's core even when he is far away from Innisfree. Stanza 3. Dear children, can you guess the answers? Yes. Please check your answers. Answers. Innisfree is a beautiful place where nature is in its full swing. The first answer is the poet wants to build a small hut of clay and wattles. He will have a 9 bean rows and a hive for the honey bees. Second answer. He hears peas come dropping and crickets sing. He sees the midnight shine and a purple glow at noon. Evenings are full of linnets' wings. He feels happy and gets peace of mind. Third answer. The poet hears the lake water lapping the shore with low sounds. Next, we will move on to the second question. Dear children, here is your second question. By now, you may have concluded that Innisfree is a simple, natural place full of beauty and peace. How does the poet contrast it with where he now stands? Read stanza 3. Dear children, what is the right answer? Can you think and tell the answer? Yes, you are right. The answer is Dear children, here is your answer. The natural beauty of Innisfree is used and explained in contrast with the roads and pavements in city. The pavement is of grey color, which symbolizes decay and death. Dear children, here is your third question. Do you think Innisfree is only a place or a state of mind? Does the poet actually miss the place of his boyhood days? Can you guess the answer? Dear children, here is your answer. The natural beauty of Innisfree is not the creation of the poet's fancy. It is a real place that gives solace to the frustrated souls. The poet longs to live at such a beautiful and peaceful place. He misses it a lot. Dear children, here we discuss Roman number 2. Look at the words the poet uses to describe what he sees and hears at Innisfree. Number 1. Be loud, glad. Evenings full of the linnet's wings. Number 3. Lake water lapping with low sounds. Here is your question. What pictures do these words create in your mind? Dear children, can you guess the answers? Yes. Dear children, here are your answers. The first answer is, these words create the pictures of the hive and honeybee humming all around. It is in the glade. The second answer is, linnet is a bird with wings. When it flutters its wings, it looks beautiful. And when the bird sits on a tree amidst beautiful natural scene, it leaves an indelible impression on the minds of the beholder. And the third answer is, it is an ordinary but bewitching scene. The waves strike the lake's shore to create a pleasing and soothing sound. Dear children, here is your next question. Look at these words. Peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings. The question is, what do these words mean to you? What do you think comes dropping slow from the veils of the morning? What does to where the cricket sings mean? Dear children, can you guess the answer? Yes, you are right. The answer is Dear children, here is your answer. These words mean that peace surrounds that area at dawn. The pleasing and melodious sound of cricket greets the morning. It adds sweetness to the serenity of the place. Dear children, these are the questions for examination point of view. So please go through the questions and write all the answers in your notebooks.